Okay, so this is on how many Christians should, how many kids should a Christian have, how many children should a Christian have, especially, you know, in times in future. So clearly, you see that there is a growing number of immigrants in the West. Uh, the West, if you are right now thinking that the West is still living in a Catholic culture or a Christian culture, it's not so. Uh, Having said that, it's still perhaps a liberal culture, uh, and in many areas, I mean, may not be a country as a whole. Perhaps it would take a lot of time to to populate an area with Muslim domination for a country as a whole, but clearly for areas, for some states in a particular country, for some regions in a particular country, from you are, that particular area is going to be that particular provinces are going to be Muslim dominated, and soon you would face a time with the kind of fertility rate that Muslims are having. You would face a time when Muslims would populate the world, and Muslims would dominate the world. This is something that they would have. If you see the case with India, it's clearly 14 percentage. They are having population. Their population is steadily growing. The population of Muslims in the world in general is steadily growing. Now, what to do in that scenario? First of all, we know what, especially with regard to present Muslim countries. I am not saying that all Muslim countries would end up like that, but in most of the Islamic countries, we know what is there. There is a respect for Sharia. The same Sharia says that Christians cannot, Muslims cannot practice Christianity, while Christians can convert to Islam. The same Sharia, the same Quran, or whatever it is, they say that there should be a particular tax that Christians should pay, known as jizya. If they don't pay that particular tax, they need to convert to Islam or they need to be killed. These kinds of laws are there in some of the countries, and in other countries, uh, and definitely there is always, I mean, even in the most liberal countries, we have this aspect of Sharia, where if a Muslim wants to convert to any other religion, it's apostasy. It's a death sentence that is given to for the apostates. Now, in that situation, and we clearly see, even among the immigrants in America, we clearly see a sense of respect for these kinds of laws. I mean, they say it's just the law of the land should be protected. So they would be arguing for the rights, and they would be arguing for the laws in all the non-Islamic countries, and for the draconian Islamic laws present in these countries, in the Islamic countries. They would say that the law of the land should be respected. So that's how they would be playing, and clearly with the rise of a Muslim population, if it happens, that we clearly need to have the entire Europe. Muhammad Gaddafi once said that, I don't know what his first name, but Gaddafi is Abdul Gaddafi or Muhammad Gaddafi or whatever. He is known by this. He had one quote that, without even sword and weapons, lethal weapons, the Islam would be able to conquer Europe, or we would be able to conquer Europe, etc. That somewhere, some kind of quote was made like that. I'm not sure. Uh, uh, you know Clearly, if it's probably the case that, with the current rate of how people identify, Christians identify themselves as Christians, and people are not leaving the people are leaving the, like, some of them are leaving the Catholic faith and the Christian faith in general, and the you know, and even if they are not leaving, the fertility rate among these Christians is definitely less than the fertility rate in Muslims. Now, you need to definitely, if you want to protect your culture, uh, then you definitely need to. I mean, it's understood that it was your land, it was your culture, and you have every right to protect it, right? Um, you cannot definitely what to say. You cannot I mean, clearly, once culture is at threat, when the other culture, when the other community representing the other culture is is growing in numbers, right? And is growing in such fast numbers. Now, you could do two things. First of all, you could kill the other community, which is not the Christian way of doing things. Secondly, you could tell them that, look, this is not how things should be. uh, First of all, we the global warming is there, or whatever heck you want to say about the problems that the environment is facing because of the large population. We have scarcity of resources. There are many countries who are having scarce resources, etc. So, for the world in general, you need to look at it, and you need to have plan it accordingly. But it turns out that they won't listen to you, or they are not listening to you. And if that is the case, then clearly they are keeping on having babies. Now, either you bring a law which says that only two kids are to be should be there, or three kids should be there. And if you feel that's not a democratic way, if that's not a healthy way, then what you should do is you should have as many kids as possible. And this is not for anything. This is, first of all, there is an intention of of saving your Christian culture. Secondly, there is an intention of creating a soul which would go to heaven. Having a soul which would go to heaven, because soul, it's soul is created when during conception. And thirdly, you are doing the service for Christendom, you are doing the service for Catholic faith, and so that the Catholic faith may not crumble down. I mean, you are not guilty here of the problems that are there, the scarcity, etc. Because the other side of the other community was not listening to these same words. And then you have to protect your culture. If the other community would have listened, then there would have been no problem. So if there is a normal fertility rate of 1.8, and if the Muslim fertility rate would also be 1.8, then there would have been no problem. But the problem is that the normal fertility rate is 1.8, and the Muslim fertility is around 4.1 or 3.1 or whatever it is. That's a huge problem. I mean, don't mark me on words, but definitely the Muslim fertility rate is a lot more than the Christian fertility rate, or the normal fertility rate in general. And that's everywhere. That's in countries all around the world. And if this is the case, then we are going to see a world which would be dominated by Muslims. And this could be the case, that if they are dominated by Muslims, then it would also be dominated by the at least quite even if a minority portion is dominated by, I mean, if you look at the current statistics, then it's not the minority portion of the Islamic world that is undemocratic. It's a huge majority of them. Many people say that it's definitely problematic how Islam and democracy would coexist together. And the interpretation that one does with democracy and Islam coexisting together is a purposive interpretation. That means you interpret Islam in such a manner that you end up having democracy. The end you want is democracy, and you are just finding means to achieve it in Islam, which normally Muslims won't do. I mean, Again, I'm not saying, but clearly, at least a huge portion of the world would be this would be an alarming call for Christians in general. So clearly, in my opinion, the Christian community should start having more kids. Women here, and if we want to have, if our community wants to have more kids, then of course, the thing would be that there would need to be women who would be working, who would be not be working, and who would be in a house, being a housewife or something like that. Because probably, I'm not saying always, I mean, you should always find ways to work, as well as being mother of three or four or five kids. But the even if you don't happen to be, I mean, surely, I mean, I could understand that you could not be an air hostess and you could not be mother of three or four or five kids at the same time. It would be problematic in this world. But understand this, that you are a warrior for the Christian faith, for the welfare of the Christian faith. The welfare of the Christian faith stands only when Christians are in majority, or at least when Christians are in substantial number. Christians in Germany are living far comfortable life than Christians in India. The only reason being that Christians are majority in Germany and not in India. Christians in the Christian world ought to live more peacefully and more, in accordance with their faith than they are living in non-Christian countries. And the reason being for that is that the uh, and the reason for that is simply this, that when more people are of your kind, the governments and the decision would taken with your respect. The morality would still be a Christian morality. However, today the world is not a Christian morality, it's an atheistic morality. Soon, European world could be, in future we would see it to be replaced by an Islamic morality. uh, and then there would be various restrictions which are not there, new challenges would come. uh, One of the things also, we would like to see is this, that many times people just don't react to the persecution that is coming in the church, and find ways to or the crisis that is coming to the church, and find ways to revolve against the thing, to revolt against that particular crisis, and to get solutions and act upon that solution for that particular crisis, saying that these are the end times, Christ would return soon, and uh, everything would be what to say, changed. First of all the people till the generation, every generation says that we are living in end times. The bottom line at this 21st century would be that we don't know whether we are in end times or not. We could presume it to be, or we could not presume it to be, whatever is the case, but we should not presume the fact that just because somebody is attacking us, we would be standing stiff, and we would not be replying to that particular attack, just because of the fact that the Christ would be coming. What if Christ didn't want it? What if Christ has given you resources, Christ has given you brain, Christ has given you Christ wants you to revolt. I mean, what if that is the case, that Christ wants you to revolt, and Christ didn't want you to be just persecuted. Christ wants you to be revolt in a democratic manner, or if circumstances come in an undemocratic manner, or armed resistance against the state, whatever. Catechism of the Catholic Church also allows for that. So we need to be clear here in this aspect that we should do as much as possible to defend our Catholic morality and Catholic faith, and Christendom in general, whatever is left in Europe and in other parts of the world. So women need to be warriors here. uh, you know and women need to be warriors, and for women need to be warriors, every housewife who is having three or four kids, or five or six kids, and every woman who is living, who is leaving uh, the her dreams, who is sacrificing her dreams so that 3 or 5 kids could be produced, 3 or 5 Christian kids, and you form a Christian morality, you train them in Christian morality, and you know and thus you increase your population. Nothing like that. I mean, you saved the Christendom, woman, you saved the Christendom. Now you have a choice here. If seeing the current situation, we could find that soon the Islamic population in certain areas of the world would be more than the Christian population. Then all those things would be there. Your culture would be required. So have more kids. Have more kids. That's the only thing that could be possible. Otherwise, the others would come and take your territory, take your resources, everything. That's what it's going to be. So uh, I mean, working is definitely a good thing if she could manage all other things of being of what is seen to be as a mother's duty and a father's duty especially. I mean, I'm pro work conservative, but at the same time, if the situation demands where you need to save your culture, and for saving your culture you need to have 5 to 6 kids, or 4 or 5 kids, then have 4 or 5 kids. Be at your home, sacrifice your dreams, all for the sake of the church.